Joining me now on the phone is one of the Indiana lawmakers who lost his reelection bid, State Senator Greg Walker. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
I want to start by just getting your reaction to last night's results, not just for you, but for your other colleagues who were defeated.
So I think many of us were surprised at the strength of the Trump endorsement. I've served my district well for 20 years. We have other long-term incumbents that we're feeling positive, that we're getting a lot of good reinforcement from people we talked to. I had an amazing volunteer team, and we felt confident that our message was getting out, that Indiana is Indiana. And there were actions on the part of the Oval Office where they have no jurisdiction over choosing election maps for the state. That's our responsibility, and we can act on that as we see fit for the constituents that we serve. And I was receiving 90% approval or support for rejecting midterm redistricting from my district, and it was from across the political spectrum. There have been many Republicans that told me how turned off they were by the pressure on the President of the United States, to where we had members that were being swatted, myself included, bomb threats, etc. And it was just that sense of force and coercion and authoritarianism that really struck a bad tone in the Indiana Senate.
So I do have to ask you, do you regret anything about voting against redistricting? It sounds like you don't, but I want to just let you say it.
I made the right choice. My very first words when I heard of this was, this is ridiculous and this will backfire. And clearly on the national level, it has been a backfire. There have been no groundswell of Republican drafted seats. But given the climate of the nation, Indiana's current 7-2 breakdown of the congressional delegation could very well be a 6-3 once we reduce some of the margins of safety in some of these districts. There clearly is room for 2 Democrat congressmen to represent the citizens of the state of Indiana, and they were elected by their peers. And I just, having heard the testimony and seen the map itself, felt so strongly that Hoosiers were best served when we did our responsibility to the best of our ability. I believe the final bill was even unconstitutional in 2 different ways, and that apparently didn't ring a note with many who supported it. So it's an unexpected result, but I'm not upset about it, at least for me.
Let me ask you, do you think there are broader implications or lessons for the Republican Party as November approaches?
Oh, yes. I think this was meant to be a clear message of retribution. I have described myself as a pawn on the chessboard of the Indiana Senate trying to protect my king, and that's the pro tem Rod Bray, a man of good character, great leadership, who can count. He didn't twist arms. He didn't try to force votes. And he knew this was such a personal issue for each one of us, for we had various reasons why we supported or rejected it. But it's clearly meant to be a message sent to the nation that you will pay a dear price. And I have to ask folks that voted here in District 41 or anyone in the nation, do you think that Indiana serves better when we're under coercion and threat? Or do you think we serve better as legislators when we're allowed to have our own cognitive abilities and reason things out and use our best judgment? How do you think we're best served? And I think as you look at the approval level of Congress, that probably gives you the answer you need. It's a land of hyper-partisanship and threats of primaries constantly in order to hold power, and that's no way to govern.
Do you think that the influence that President Trump showed in Indiana, in your race and other races there, do you anticipate that will be replicated in the midterms? Or do you think that these races in other states are more complicated at the statewide level?
Well, for one thing, at some point they'll run out of money. $9 million was spent attacking from within the Republican Party. You would think some of those funds might be useful to incumbents in Congress that would like to run for re-election that currently represents the Republican Party. But I think because it will be interpreted as a success on the part of the Oval Office, that they'll do everything within their power to replicate it. But it's consistent with model, and that's my point. It's anyone that stands up and says we don't agree with the president, you're a rhino, you're a loser, whether he appointed his own cabinet members or had those in his own legislative party or judiciary, it's the same tired tune of rhino loser, and I don't understand why it continues to be effective. We can't all be right and one person wrong, can we? Can the whole nation be wrong and one person right? I don't think that's possible.
Well, we certainly appreciate your joining us to give us your perspective and your reaction a day after these races. State Senator Greg Walker, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Take care.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.